welcome to the, what is today? June 19th, Juneteenth, 2024, Kiwanis Club of Easton meeting. Please stand with me as we pledge allegiance to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America on this note. God bless America, land that I love, standing side and guide through the nights with the lights from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Barbara, you have a moment of inspiration for us?
From Winston Churchill, courage is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. From someone named Elsie D. Wolfe, I'm going to make everything around me beautiful. That will be my life. That's the life of a Kiwanian.
Thank you, Barbara. And we celebrate this Juneteenth that is a celebration of freedom for every American. And we're going to introduce our speaker. I've known Tom for quite a long time. I have to admit that it's been a long time since I've seen him. We shared a mission trip to Buenos Aires, Argentina. And we worked on a orphanage. We did some restoration work at an orphanage in a little town outside of Buenos Aires called Mercedes. And that was a delightful time with Tom and his wife. It was in a younger day for all of us, but it was very rewarding. And I don't know what's going on in your life right now as far as all the things that you're involved with. So I invite you to tell us all about that and entertain us with your presentation.
I will try.
Thank you, Tom.
I will share a couple of interesting things, I think. And one is, it came to my attention, because I'm looking around and there's a few gray hairs in the room. It came to my attention that I've been writing and I've got a lot of books out. And I was at a conference and somebody said, when did you first publish? My first book came out in 2022, and I was at the age of 80. So all of my books have been published after I turned 80. The writing that I'm going to talk about a little bit today, journaling, I only started that when I was 70. So that became, you know, a piece for me. I'm keeping busy. I teach at Ultra IC. We're off right now. Some of the summer courses didn't fall. I'm still writing. I did share with Jim that my wife has become disabled, so that's kind of restricting my getting around. I've given you a flyer. That's a crass commercial offering, except that I don't charge for speaking. I enjoy doing it. So if you know of any other group that would like to hear me, have them contact me. The information's on there. With that in mind, I'm going to start talking about the art of journaling. All right. This is the journey of my own journaling, and I've been down this road and I've gone a lot of different paths in my life. I consider it a checkered past. I've had 3 wives, 6 children, 13 grandchildren, 9 significant others, and a lot of writing to keep up with. Just for a point of information, the 3 wives are really 2. I married my first wife. We had our party, my fault. I married another woman. We had our partings, my fault. And then third time, I'm back with my original wife. And that's a lesson in forgiveness, by the way. What is journaling? It's a way of keeping a record of your feelings and insights. It invokes mindfulness. It helps a writer keep his mind straight. This is a good way to begin a writing career. It's an opportunity for emotional catharsis. I have to tell you that every morning when I get up, a part of my ritual is a morning devotion, and that includes writing in journals. And that starts my day. So unless I'm out the door for a very early piece, that's what goes on. It also gives whoever is doing the journaling a sense of confidence and self-identity. It's a way to force yourself to start writing if you'd like to. There's all kinds of journals out there. You can find them in stores. They're all sizes and shapes. Most of the ones I write are inspirational in nature. There are a few samples. I spread them out on my table and took a picture. So those are some of the journals that I've used. My journals began in 2012. They became a part of my routine writing. I complete about 4 to 5 a year. When I finish the journal, I send it to the family member or give it to the friend for whatever they're going to use it for. Now, some of them I think I went in a drawer. Some of them might have been burned. But I will hear a lot of comments from different people. I've gone through my entire family, all 25 extended members, and now I'm beginning to write journals for friends. It also mentions redemption and recovery. I did have a checkered past. I went through some very difficult emotional problems in my life. And journaling got me out of that, along with my faith. So being able to sit down and write is a positive experience for anyone. This one happened to be a spiritual one. It's from a verse in the Bible that says, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And you notice I have self-control circled? Because when I read that verse, I realized that when I was in first grade and I saw the report card, there was a note on the bottom to my mother, Tom lacks self-control. So that kind of struck me, and this has really helped to discipline me. As I said, I've been writing to friends. Again, everybody, if I started writing when I was 80 or in my 70s, what prevents any of you from starting now? Nothing. And I mean, that's a part of just getting into, those journals weren't going anywhere. It was just me getting my thoughts down on paper for folks. It allows you to explore new ideas. If you are a writer, it can get you through writer's blocks. I usually have a variety of books in the works, 2 or 3 at a time usually, that I shift from point to point on. There's also something in literature called stream of consciousness. I don't know if any of you have ever read a stream of consciousness novel where the author just pours out thoughts. And journaling gives you the opportunity to do that. There's no pressure. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Nobody cares how long I write or don't write. My wife is still sleeping a little bit. And she knows because she does her own inspirational work in the morning. It's really a pressureless concept. This got me started in writing with my first book. This was a book that I published, and I published this, it's called A Year's Journey, because I was upset with the journals I was getting. because they were spiritual and they'd take 30 Bible verses and repeat them 20 times or 15 times to fill the book. So I'd say, oh, I read this verse already in a month. But then I decided, well, I'm going to write one where there'll be 365 different Bible verses, so nobody will get the same verse twice. I didn't even bring that book with me because it's so big. The public, and when you are getting published by somebody else, you don't determine what the size of the book is. And this is a big fat old book that would fit on a coffee table more than anything else. These were some samples. What I do in this particular journal, I have a Bible verse, a commentary, and then a question for the reader or for the person who would be keeping the journal. And then there's a piece at the bottom. So for instance, on the left where it said in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, I talk about it and then say, what can you begin new today? And I was reading a devotion this morning that talked about what we do in our life as we get older. And we should all have new dreams and new ideas. You've seen this before. This is short and to the point today. So I'm not gonna, I'm here for questions and I will take any right now. Yeah.
4 years ago, my son's wife died of cancer. And he has been keeping what I'll call a journal of thoughts. They're quite intense in some cases. Some of you may be on his link that you may have gotten some of those. But how, if he wanted to, how would he publish something like that?
You could give him my contact information, or you could contact me. I could give you a little more lengthy, but there's various places that you can publish. For instance, this is published, my spiritual stuff is published from a group called Lighthouse Christian Publishing. You can publish on Amazon, believe it or not, at no cost at all. But you really need, what he would need to do, if he was interested, is put it in a decent form. You've got to do the formatting yourself. Does that kind of answer it a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You found that there's a format of a journal that you prefer, or do you like the blank page, or do you like the ones that kind of have a prompt at the beginning?
I like the prompt.
I've tried journaling and I get about 4 or 5 days and then I fall off the wagon.
But are you doing a blank journal?
I've tried both. I think it's me, not the journal.
Okay.
I think it's operator error.
Yeah. Some people like the blanks, and again, you'll find them in different. Some of them will just have images. Yeah.
How many years have you been journaling?
I don't remember, but I've got 2 cartons of journals upstairs in the attic. And my journal does give you a Bible verse, actually 2 Bible verses every day and a prayer. It's called the Moravian, daily text.
Okay.
Moravian daily text, and they publish it in journal form.
Spiral bound.
Spiral
Yeah.
bound, and there is room underneath the text and so forth for you to journal. And it is guaranteed. It's 2 different Bible verses every day. They won't be repeated for 3 years.
Oh, that's great. That's a good. I use the ones I'm doing now are spiral bound. Sir,
This may sound like a stupid question, but
there are none.
define journal. What is a journal? Journal, with the word journal. What is,
Should give you a textbook form and I can't. It's simply your thoughts. It's simply, and it may be related to a verse or an idea, or it might be in a blank journal. It may be equated to what some people would call a diary. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of my entries are more diary than journal.
Now, I also keep a journal for myself. And I call it the self journal. So when right now I'm writing two, one to an old friend and one to myself. And I tuck them away and I've got 6 or 7 of them, which someday my kids will read. And that has a lot of very deep thoughts for me. Yeah,
What's the distinction between a journal that you write for a friend or for someone else as opposed to a journal that you write for your own personal?
I think you said it. If I'm writing to you, I'm thinking about Jim and what do I know about him? And what does this verse say about him, or what can I get him to think about this verse? Conversely, if it's just me, I'm thinking about self. So the good point of writing the journal to someone else is you're getting outside yourself. Both of them are important, really. Yeah.
About storybook.
I think
I
one
don't
of
know
my
how.
kids gave me one.
Yeah, well, yeah, we get, my wife and I got gifts at Christmas time, a few years
Yeah.
back from Storybook, which every Sunday night they send you a question.
Yeah.
And then you, you write the answer to the question. And you can have them come every week and have them come every 2 weeks, but at the end of the day, you get a book, right?
My
A
kids
bound
did
book,
that.
yeah. Yeah,
Great.
yeah. And if you don't like the question, send it back and they send you a new one. So, but
Yeah,
very interesting, yeah.
interesting.
How many hours do you spend a day journaling?
15 minutes. First thing I do when I get up, so, I've got some verses I want to read and I've got and the journaling is the end. I usually, but this is me again, but I'll have 3 different devotionals that I get in the mail. That usually, 2 of them run for a month. I have one that runs for 3 months. And I'll read my devotionals and think, and then I'll pick up the journal to my friend, and do that, and then the journal to myself and do that.
Yeah, I've traveled years back. I traveled quite extensively to different places in the world. A lot of times it was by motor coach with a group of other people, and I've noticed most often that people would be, while they're on the bus, while we're traveling from one spot to another, they'd be writing things in a little notebook or something like that. Would that be considered journaling as well?
Sure it would. It's not what I do, but that, some people, when I travel, sometimes I'll bring the journal with me and journal in the morning. But it won't be related to the travel. That's another notation and a good one.
So, you described that part of your journaling has helped you through some of the, conflicts or obstacles that you had in your life.
It has helped, yeah.
And I have to say that I've been through many obstacles in my life, and it's probably true for every human being. But in seeking help through those obstacles, I've often been told that journaling would be a helpful way for me to work those issues out. And there's been times in my life where I started journaling, but I ran out of steam, maybe very quickly, or had lots of different false starts. My question is, you've been journaling here fairly late in life.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of false starts before you built it into the habit pattern that it's become?
I always played around with writing. And writing is played around with poetry. I do a presentation on my long journey as an author, which deals with a lot of kind of junk.
Yeah.
Before I really got serious, but I lost my train of thought. This happens when you're 83.
False starts or
Yeah. Not false starts once I start. Once I get in, I'm a little OCD, so as a result of that, I keep pushing. But I know what I did want to say. The journaling helps, but people help. And as much as the journaling got me through, I had a counselor that got me through. So, you know, it's not a once and all solution here. It's a combination of things.
Hear about the young people in particular who journal and then their parents hook up their things, a terrible invasion of their privacy. And I wonder what guidelines or advice do you give to people who really want to unload their heart, but it's very personal and they don't want to do it elsewhere.
I don't know if you're, you know, some of these personal ones I tucked away, someday my kids are gonna read them. And they may not like reading. If you're writing and you're keeping it under lock and key, but you're right with kids, and by the way, that's. I'm gonna go off track a little bit. That's another topic that I've gotten into lately. And that is about this younger generation, who were called Generation Z. And that's your, grandchildren that are the ages of children between the ages of 14 and 20. And they've been renamed the anxious generation because of all the pressure that has been put on those kids. Yeah.
I have one other question. Since we have an attorney in the room.
Look out.
I'm not gonna tell you who it is.
That's all right. He gave himself away.
My main question, can a journal hurt you or help you?
I guess the answer.
I don't know.
I guess the answer is yes.
You're gonna witness, then you said, back to this, so-and-so did this. I don't know if that's legal. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about that, but I'm wondering.
My journals aren't being that directly accounting. They're more about thoughts on versus ideas. No, that's a good point. But again, this notion of privacy.
Yeah.
And we're living in a world, and by the way, the reason for this, my offshoot here of the anxious generation presentation, is this world is totally different for these kids than it ever was for us. And I'll leave you with this note: a 12-year-old girl will know about anal sex before she ever kisses a boy. And that's because of all the stuff that we have technologically. And on that happy note. Anything else?
Lunch is served.
Yeah.
For some people,
I like questions.
for some people, it is better to journal at night when you have the day behind you.
Yeah, I think when you journal is a personal matter. I'm a good morning person. So I can do that in the morning. Now, my more creative writing, I do at night. So my work on novels and presentations is something I'll do in the evening. And it varies. And again, I want to thank you folks for, you must be getting tired of having me here. I think I've done before. No, you're not to respond to that at all, but I did send you a sheet around, so if anybody's interested in contacting me. Anything else?
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Speaking of your sheet,
Yeah.
I note on your Anatomy of a Detective series, since Walt and I are both former Easton detectives.
Oh, you're the guy I was talking about earlier. I talk about you in my writers groups. I said I got called out by writing about detectives because there was a detective in the audience. But again, my caveat is an amateur detective who eventually gets his certificate in the 4th book of the series, which are available over here.
By the way.
You stepped into that.
Skip, when he spoke to us about that, it's
Yeah.
on the Easton Kiwanis YouTube channel.
Yeah, I did speak on that topic here.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.